Good Thursday evening, everyone. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful day so far. I got a good one for you today. Seems like Greg Fergus, Speaker of the House, did an impartial move a couple of days ago when he shut down Parliament. So, what does that mean? That means that the government can't push anything through. So, with no further ado, we're going to listen to Andrew Scheer, who used to be Speaker of the House way back when, and talk about it. But before that, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. Now, let's get into it.
Years, Justin Trudeau has shown that he's not worth the cost or the corruption. The Speaker has just recently ruled that all House business, all government business must be put aside while members of Parliament consider Liberal corruption. First, we had the case of the Green Slush Fund, the SDTC fund, where the Auditor General found over $330 million funneled to Liberal insiders' own businesses. She found massive conflicts of interest. Basically, these Liberal-appointed board members who made the decision as to which companies got money, taxpayers' money, from this fund, were funneling that money to their own businesses or to the businesses of their close friends. So the Auditor General has blown...
And doing this all the while, 48% of Canadians are living in poverty. 2 million Canadians are struggling, and they're going to food banks for the first time, and a recession is looming. And this is how the Liberals spend our money. You can sense why Greg Fergus had to shut down Parliament. And the Trudeau Liberals, they won't provide the documents to the RCMP that they need to investigate it. So what do you think is going on behind the scenes? I can bet you the Liberals are probably quaking in their boots because some illegal stuff must be happening, or else they would have just given up the documents that were requested.
Blown the whistle on that. Yet the government refuses to hand over the documents to the RCMP. The House of Commons passed a production order demanding that all documents, all information that the Auditor General uncovered, plus any documents that might exist in any government department related to this scandal, be handed over to the RCMP. The government is refusing, and as a result, the House will be seized with this corruption matter until they hand over the documents. And then we have the case of the other Randy, where a senior Trudeau minister is alleged to have been sitting around the cabinet table while also involved in his own business's affairs. His business partner was summoned before a committee and refused to disclose all the information, refused to name who the other Randy is, refused to hand over all the documents and answer the questions that were put to him. And as a result, the House is seized with that motion as well. So what we're saying today is that the government will not be able to, the House will be staying on these corruption matters until the Liberals hand over all the documents to the RCMP. While Canadians are suffering with the cost of living crisis that Justin Trudeau caused with his runaway inflation, while millions of Canadians are visiting a food bank for the first time and young Canadians are giving up on the dream of home ownership as housing costs have doubled under the NDP Liberal government, it's clear once again that the Liberals will always stop and enrich their friends while they impoverish Canadians. So I'll hand it over to my colleague who's going to make some...
And it kind of goes to show, it's always interesting to hear the Liberals go on and on about how the Conservatives are just in to help their rich friends and all the other jargon that they say. And then something like this pops up where they've been funneling money to their rich friends. And they're just hoping that we don't find out That's good that we have whistleblowers, because this whole SDTC scandal, if you didn't already hear about it, this came about because a whistleblower named Witness One came out to committee, and he told us all of what he saw at this SDTC part of the government. And he told us that what happened is, when he saw the corruption, he told his higher-ups, he told the Auditor General first, and then the Auditor General said to send it to Minister Champagne, looks over, and apparently months went by with nothing happening, while Champagne, in Parliament, after all this, was saying, I took action right after I heard about the SDTC scandal. All the while, it's been months after he got this information. And then after, he had to go back to the Auditor General. So the Auditor General finally was like, okay, something's wrong here. And then released documents that she found like $380 million just funneled. And now I guess it's ballooned up to $800 million of our own taxpayer dollars that has been funneled to these companies that are owned or co-owned or have something to do with the Liberal Party, or some people in the Liberal Party. And a lot of it has to do with our good friend, Environmental Minister Guilbeault.
Remarks in French, then we can take.
Now after that rant, we're gonna hop over to True North, and they'll give us a little bit of rundown on why everything shut down and what does this all mean, and then go from there. So I'm just going to quickly go through this and leave a link in the description down below, and you guys can read the rest of this all through. So from True North, Trudeau government defies Parliament, refuses to surrender SDTC documents, finds Speaker. So Speaker of the House, Greg Fergus, ruled that Trudeau government defied the authority of Parliament by refusing to hand over documents pertaining to the Sustainable Development Technology Canada and its gross misconduct. Now, the gross misconduct is the way they treated their employees. Apparently it was terrible, according to Witness One. The ruling comes after an opposition motion demanded the Trudeau government hand over all documents pertaining to SDTC and the misuse of government funds to benefit companies in which its board director executives had conflicts of interest. We already talked about the investigations led by the Auditor General, and they say that the Conservative Party was supported by the NDP and the Bloc Québécois in a motion they put forward to the House that demanded the government hand over all the files about the SDTC scandal. However, the 30-day deadline came and passed with the government failing to hand over the documents specified by the House, falling in contempt of the House. And this sounds like a similar scandal that happened called the Arrive Scam Scandal, where they halted the Auditor General from looking into a lot of the documents that were given to them by not funding them enough. And the Auditor General went to committee saying that they still haven't got all the documents they need. So who knows how? I don't even know if they're done with their Rive scam scandal and the amount that we lost there. They go on to say, in some instances, only partial disclosures were made, owing either to redactions for the withholding of documents. In other instances, the House order was met with a complete refusal, said House Speaker Fergus. So, it's great that Fergus is finally acting like the Speaker of the House, acting impartial. But I think he was kind of forced this time to act impartial, because if he didn't and he voted along with the Liberals to say, oh, we don't need these documents, we can keep going business as usual, even though this thing passed, there would have been a vote to get rid of him as Speaker of the House. There would have been something that happened, because this is one of the biggest scandals we've had in Canada in forever. At least in my lifetime, let's just say. They go on to say, beyond rare exceptions for the sake of national security, the House of Commons has the absolute power to compel the government to produce any documents pertaining to the House's business. And I don't think in the SDTC any of that's national security related, and any of that should be redacted, because it's just all about our money and where that's going to. That, I guess, the most that could possibly be redacted is how the companies run, or what they're trying to, not even like what they're trying to do with the money, but like the names of some of the items they're going to build, or something like that, right? Like, but most of it should be available to the public, and definitely available to Parliament, because it's the public's money that's funding this. So the leader of the government in the House, Karina Gold, argued that the motion ordering the government to indirectly hand the SDTC documents to the RCMP was unusual, novel, and unprecedented, and that the motion violates the Charter of Rights while interfering with the RCMP investigations. Actually, it doesn't hinder, or it doesn't violate any of our Charter of Rights and freedoms, and the Liberals should know that, because they violated all of our Charter of Rights and freedoms during by enacting the Emergency Act at the truckers' convoy. So, I mean, they should know. And yeah, it's kind of unusual for this to happen, because there hasn't been a scandal like this in forever. So, and it's good that this isn't used very often. It means that usually our parliament works well. So Fergus invited the Conservatives to table another motion on the matter. However, he recommended that their motion be studied in a parliamentary committee before reissuing the production order. The Conservatives have not retabled the motion. Instead, they used their time during the latest opposition day to move a failed motion of no confidence in the Trudeau government, which was brilliant, because now everybody knows that the Bloc and the NDP really don't care about Canadians losing $800 million. And they don't care about the Liberal corruption that's going on in Canada. So, or Liberal Party corruption. So, in 2021, the Trudeau government threatened to take Speaker Anthony Rota to court in an attempt to prevent the release of documents relating to the National Microbiology Laboratory. And I think this was the last, or the scandal before the Rive scam scandal, that almost brought down the government. The issue was dropped after Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called for an election that his party eventually won. So yes, it would have right. It would have brought it down if Justin Trudeau didn't call an election. So there it is, all in a nutshell. I skipped a lot of the information on this article on True North. So, like I said, go to the description down below and click on the link. It'll send you here, and you can read the whole thing. And it's got a lot of good information. But what do you think? Will this be the scandal that finally brings down the Trudeau government, or at least kicks Trudeau out of power? And as conservatives, do we really want that? Because then it'll make it harder for a conservative majority. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you liked the video, please give a like and hit that subscribe button. I'm hoping for 400 subscribers by the end of the month. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, there's a Buy Me a Coffee link down below. All of that's appreciated, and it all goes back to the channel giving you better videos. Other than that, that's all I got for you today. Have a great day.